I want to deconstruct my appearance page and show you a few things about how I have it set up and how I make it work to my advantage just a little bit. If you look here, I've got some fill in the blanks. I've got in Texas, this is how I set mine up. I've got the attorney, and then I have the state bar number that is necessary for court. And then below there I've got the firm, the address, etc., etc. And then counsel, and I've got his email address in there also. So how is this set up and how does it work? If I go up here, get above there, and I do my command to fill in the blanks, you can see it drops down a file, and it's looking for a file called attorney. And then if you look in here, I've got a slew of names that I have put in here over my career and have just added to it ad nauseum. So let's look here at how that file comes up. If I go here to the top of it, I can see here under Edit, Insert, there is a thing here that's called Add a Blank. And if I click on that, you see it will open up a window, and it's the window here for the attorney, and it's got some things set up in here that I want to make work for this particular field only. So I've got it set up as the name of the field is called attorney. It's adjustable. It will delete the line if empty, so if you're going there and if you're at the third or fourth one of these down and you don't need it anymore, just hit enter and it will delete it. And then I want it to cap the contents in this field. So I have it set up the way I like it, but if you notice in here I have one list file called ATTY, and what I did when I initially set this up years ago was I wanted a file that I could put attorneys' names into so that I wouldn't have to keep going back and forth. So let's go back here and look at this. Remember, when I hit the fill in the blank, it was dropping in all these attorney names and giving me an option. So if I chose any one of those, it would put their name in this field. Now, I don't have all the state bar numbers for all these attorneys, but I have quite a few for ones that I've worked with over the past several years in court. And when I click on here and choose the attorney's name, it will go and put the state bar number down there if the attorney has his state bar number tied into it. Now let's go a little bit further here, and remember here we look and we see the attorney list file. So let's do an edit. Let's edit a document, and let's go into my jobs folder. Going into my block files where I have them, and if you look here, I've got a file here called attorney. Now I want to open that file because remember, I'm editing. I'm not reading in a block, I'm editing, and I'm going to click open. And you can see here at the bottom of this I've got a lot of names on here with the state bar number afterwards. And so by putting that plus sign in there, it allows me to have the field open up. I can choose an attorney's name, and because I've got the plus sign out there, it will automatically fill in the next window down for me, which is kind of cool because I want that to work for me, so I don't have to keep typing in name after name after name. So let's go here again and let's open this up. Now, the other way to get quickly to this file, instead of doing it the other way that I showed you, if you click on Edit right here, it will take you to that same file, and I've already got it open, so let me close that one. Let's start this over again. I'm going to do an Edit, or fill in the blanks, edit, and here it is. It's already opened up, and I can go through here and pull any person's name out of there, adjust it, add to it, whatever. I can edit this file. And you see the syntax here. To get a state bar number to go with a person's name, you put the plus sign and then the rest of it. Now let's go back here and look at this again. We saw that was Steve Spurgeon down there at the end, so I can hit edit, Steve. Is it going to take me down there? It may not. Let me just go to the end here and find something here quickly. Let's look at that name again to make sure I have it right so I can go to it correctly. Stephen W. Spurgeon. So I'm going to back out of there. Do this again. Mr. Stephen W. There it is. There is Spurgeon. So when I hit this person's name, automatically it not only puts his name in all caps, even though it was in lowercase over here, and it puts the bar number as we showed. Now it goes to the next window, which is the firm name. And again, as you can see here, I have a ton of firm and street addresses and the like. But let's say that he worked for whoever. I can just go in here and pick a number and drop the name in there, and when I do that, it's going to put the information in correctly. So let's go look at a firm setup and see how this is set up differently. I can edit, and here's Law Offices of Stephen Spurgeon, so I'm going to remember that, Law Office of. But if you look here, I've got the plus sign, I've got the street address, another plus sign, I've got the city, another plus sign, I've got the telephone number, and a plus sign for the fax number. Now let's go back here real quick and look at what we've got going on here. I've got the firm, the street, the city, the telephone, and the fax. So I have to have 4 fields here, or five fields, to be able to make all that information fill in there correctly. So if we go here and look again, you see right here it only shows the name of the law firm. But if I look here at the information, the rest of it's going to be, when I click on this, it will grab the rest of the information. So let's go back and edit that one more time and look at it. I've got the law firm, I've got the street, the city, telephone, and the fax number. Now on these I don't have to put telephone or fax, because in my field, if you remember, my field has it there, and then here's the field, and then here's the fax, and then here's the number. So let's go here, let's do fill in the blanks. Law Office of Stephen, there he is. So when I click enter right there, it fills it in. It takes me to the next window, which is my email address. Now I just put those in manually, and it's not a big deal. If you want to set that up, there is a way to set that up, but because my law firm is here and my email is not up here where I could attach it up here, it's a little more difficult to do it, because although this is one gentleman, if you had a huge law firm, you know, Smith & Jones, and had 85 attorneys, you wouldn't want Mr. Spurgeon to be down here if for the email if it was a different attorney. So I'll just leave that alone, and then put in the email address, and then go to my next prompt. So let's go here and fill in the blanks. Now here's another drop down. Okay, and we've got plaintiff, defendant, intervener, executor. So let's look at that field. We're going to open up that window. Remember, it was in mine, it was edit, insert, and it was blank. So I can look there and I can see that there's a file here called X party, and the field label is party. It's adjustable. prompt for contents and delete. If it was the last field, it's going to stop right there. So let's look here, and let's go here, and let's choose. So if we choose number 1, it's going to put the word plaintiff in there. But let's say, for instance, that you wanted to add, maybe you wanted to add perhaps intervener. We got intervener, let's say respondent, applicant, or whatever. You could go in here and you could type in applicant. If you type it in like that, you can hit add, and it will add it to the bottom of the field. But let's look at how the number comes up there in the actual file itself. Let's go to edit, and you see here I've got 1 at plaintiff, 2 at defendant, 3 at intervener, 4 at executor. If I wanted to, I'm going to escape out of here, go back to this field again. If I wanted to, I could do 5 at respondent, like that. Then I can click on add. There it is. Now I can click there, click OK, and it drops it in there for me. Now if I want to go down here and do, say I want to do number, I can do either 5 or I could do number 1. Say it was plaintiff, and there it is. So I have the ability on these fields, even though I've got them created, like right here. Let's add field, fill in the blank. I could do Smith and Jones plus 1,000 anywhere street suite 200 plus anywhere Texas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus, and I can keep going through here, put in the phone number 800 555 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 900. Let's see, let's do 900 555 1, 2, 3, 5. So if I do it this way and actually fill this in this way, I can hit OK, and it will fill the blanks in up to the fax line, because remember I've got the firm name was Smith & Jones, the address was 1000 Anywhere Street Suite 200, and then the city and state and zip was Anywhere Texas zip code, and then here's my phone number right here, and here's my fax right here. Now if I like that firm, I can click add, and here they are, added to my firm main list file that I'm using, my block file called firm main. If I want to click OK, I can, and there it is. It filled everything in for me correctly. Now let's go back. Let's escape out of here. Let's go to another fill in the blank. Smith and Jones. Remember, I just created that. Let's edit that. And you can see that here they are. They're at the bottom of that list file now because I just added them. And I can take them out now because I don't need them. I don't want to have them in my file to waste space. So I'm just going to back that out of there. Take all this out. There we go. And let's see here. What else can we do with this fill in the blanks? This kind of gives you an example of how to use a generic or kind of make your own little setup. And let's do one down here at the end. Let's say that we want to make one right here. Put a couple of blank lines, and we're going to do an add blank. We're going to call it attorney. It's going to be adjustable. We want to prompt for contents. If you use variable right here, Like say for instance you had a cause number that you wanted to put in. Let's do that. Let's say you had a cause number here instead of the attorney name. This will be fun. So let's call it cause right here. And let's make that field. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back. I'm going to capture it. Control C. Another blank line. Shift V. I'm going to paste it in here. Now I want to get prompted for the cause number 2000 CV 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I hit enter right there, it'll jump to the next one. And since I'm using the same cause number again, it's already got that information in there for me. So I can do it quickly. So since I saved that field, Control V, that's a Control V. Here I've got two of them again. I've got cause and cause. Let's look at it again. Let's open up the blank field. It's called cause. That's the name of the field. The variable is cause number because let's say for instance at the top of the page you've got a cause number at the very top, and then somewhere within the transcript of the front page, maybe in the paragraph somewhere, the proceedings in cause number blah 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 were had. If you filled it in up there correctly at the top one, and it's the exact same field and the exact same information, all you have to do is make another field and have it called cause, and you can put those anywhere in the file, and as long as you're filling in the blanks, you'll be good to go. Now at the end of the transcript, if you use this same field in your certificate page with the same information in here, when you merge in your ending pages, if this is the same field that you filled in at the top of the file, all you have to do is start your fill in the blanks again, and it will remember that information and fill it in for you automatically. Or if you turn off this, watch what happens. I'm going to turn this off, and let's go here and let's turn it off on this one. Now when I fill it in now, I'm going to fill in the blanks. It does it boom boom boom, because remember I already filled it in before. I don't have to do anything with it. So that prompt for contents would stop if you need it to stop, or if you don't have it checked but you use the exact same field, you're good to go. So let's look at that again. Let's do a couple of blank lines and put that cause number there again. If I have it set up the way I think it is right now, it's going to prompt. So if I do a fill in the blank, it's going to prompt me for it. If I go there and I have set that field up correctly, I can go up to it and I can do boom boom. The second one still has a prompt on there because I want it to prompt. I didn't turn that switch off in there. So you can see the different things you can do with the fill in the blanks and how you can make it work for you on your front page. Now let's go back up here and look at a couple of things. You can have things set up like the volume. Here's my case number here. Different variations on how you can have your fill in the blank set up. Nature of the proceedings on this day of blank blank blank, and as you go down through here, start your fill in the blanks on the 18th day of. Now here's a field to drop in the months, and if you remember how we set that up, somewhere at one point I set up a thing to look for a file called Z month, and it goes down and it finds that file, and then when I run fill in the blanks, it drops them in there, and I can hit, say today is March, I can hit number 3 and hit enter, and it drops it in there. Here's the years, 2013, and it jumps from there, and it just jumps to the next blank field that it needs to fill in, and I'm good to go. So I hope that kind of gives you an example of how to use those fill in the blanks to work for you, and to even add some information in there. Once again, remember that if you're going to have multiple fill in the blanks and you're going to use, for instance, like a firm, you have to have enough information so that you have to have enough of the fields open here so that you can have the firm name, the address, the city and the state, telephone, and fax. And if you remember down here for some of those larger firms, like this one here, there's one field right there up to the plus sign. There's your address up to the next plus sign. There's your city and state up to the next plus sign. And then there's your phone number, and then there's your fax number. These plus signs are the separators between each field. So it will start fill in the blank, and it will go to there, and then it will do the address, city and state, phone number, phone number. Let's look real quickly. Let's say, for instance, I took out this one here, and I took out this one. So I forgot to put those in there when I was making my things. So I'm going to do a fill in the blank real quick. Law Office of Stephen W. Spurgeon. Remember, we've got everything here correctly. Now you see what it did. It kind of hung up here and didn't fill everything in correctly. The email is not a phone number, and it messed up and didn't even get the fax number. So it messed it up and didn't work correctly. So again, make sure your fields have the correct information, and you should be good to go. And if you have other information below, like the attorney plus the state bar number, make sure that extra field is in there so it can take that first attorney name and then put his bar number below. If you wanted to, you could have the state bar number up here on the same line. It's just a matter of however you want to set your fields up and work with them. So I hope this helps and gives you some ideas of how to set things up. Thanks.